So what is going on, Metaverse? It's great to have you guys back with us today. This is Animositas joining one of my good friends, Oscar Matt Gaming, on his channel, and we have a really special video for you today. So, Matt, we've been friends, guildmates, co-content creators for several months now, and I'm really glad that we finally had the chance to collab on a video. It's really under less than ideal circumstances, though, so we'll start off with that, but we'll save the details of what happened for the rest of the cast. For those that haven't been really following the Ethlizards or the Azure community over the past week, it's been pretty wild. And so we're going to share with you a little bit about what happened and how that impacted Matt directly, how that impacted me and some of the other community members, and what we all can learn from it. Because really, security in the Web3 gaming space is paramount. And I think there's a lot of important lessons. As Matt and I were talking, here's what we would like to share with our community. So, Matt, thanks again for letting me join you on your channel. Why don't you start off by giving a little bit of your background to those that aren't real familiar in terms of how you got into crypto, NFTs, and GameFi?
Oh, thanks for that. I'm really keen to get into this because I feel like this is an important lesson that so many people can learn from. And I really hope it doesn't happen to anyone else. I was really lucky with the end result, but we'll get to that a bit later. But my whole journey with crypto and NFTs and stuff, I actually bought my first Bitcoin in that back in 2016 when it was worth about $5,000, maybe a little bit less. But then my sister told me to invest it in this company, ended up being a Ponzi, money gone. So my first bit of crypto wasn't very good. I kind of just left it for a while. I had a little bit of ETH and other stuff just sitting there and didn't look at it for ages. And then 2020, kind of started looking at it again when Doge went 10x. I had a little bit in there. So I made a bit of money there and then didn't do anything again until the start of this year when one of my favorite graffiti artists actually released his NFT line, Soffles. I went in and bought a few of those. I actually won one of one as well, so I've got like 10 or 12 of his. Not worth heaps, but I love him, so it's really cool to have some of his
worth
stuff.
Worth it a lot to you,
and I've actually directly talked to him on a Discord chat and stuff like that, and it's cool that that's the access you get within Web3, and that's what I just love about it. Like even the access we have to Illuvium founders and stuff is second to none. And then just after that, my mate told me about Illuvium, and I'm like, why didn't you tell me about this ages ago? Like, he's known about it for so long, and pretty much within a month, I'd watched as much videos as I could. I'd already wanted to start doing content creation, and I was like, man, there's only like 5 or 6 people. One of them or 2 of them have more than 1,000 subs. Like, it's a very open market right now. I'm like, all right, I've got to jump in, and that's where I am today, doing 1 or 2 videos a week, trying to make a name for myself here and just loving Illuvium and the Web3 kind of community. It's great. I can't fault it. Like coming on yesterday with all the other creators and you and everyone, like they're all so welcoming. So pretty happy with that.
No, that's awesome. And I would say you and I have fairly similar timelines in terms of when we really got involved with Illuvium and some of the GameFi structures that are emerging now. So my hope is that this video in particular is going to be beneficial to those that are newer to the space like us. And, with that, I want to start by maybe sharing a little bit about how we got connected in terms of Ethlizards, because I think that's really where this particular story starts. So maybe for our audience that isn't familiar, the Ethlizards is an NFT community, and a lot of NFT projects, there's pretty minimal utility behind them, but Ethlizards is a little bit different. So this project is structured in a way that's set up as a DAO that's focused on early investing and funding of GameFi projects before they're really launching. And so it's really a seed, pre-seed type of structure. And as a member of the community, you have the ability to participate in supporting through the treasury and through funding of some of these projects based on their structure. And as always, I'm going to mention this now at the start of the video. This is not an endorsement to buy, sell, or transact in any coin, token, NFT, including Ethlizards. Certainly, you should do your own research. But as part of that, we've been talking for a while, Matt, about what is Ethlizards, and anyone who's really interested in the GameFi space, this should be a consideration that they may want to be involved in, just because of the amount of information that's shared in the community, the number of projects that they support in Web3 gaming. And so I know we've been giving you a hard time for a little while, but you were able to actually pick up an Ethlizard earlier this week. So why don't you tell us about that background, how you got there, and then we'll go into the rest of the story.
Yeah, so Illuvium and Ethlizard kind of go hand in hand. It's kind of where it spawned out of, I believe. Like, what was it, in February or something like that?
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I've been wanting to get one for ages, and the price of them was way too high. 2 or 3 months ago,
Yeah, it's
and I
pretty
was
high.
just like, and I was like, all right, I just need to save. And then obviously markets have come way down, their prices had come way down, and then I finally convinced my missus to let me invest a little bit more money into Illuvium or into the crypto scene, and I had a little bit of money there as well. So I was like, all right, find an Ethlizard. I was just going to buy the floor just so I could get in, but then I found the one that I found that was just above floor, and I was like, I really like this one.
Mm.
It looks awesome. The background and all the pieces together, I really liked it. So I was like, yep, I'll pay a little bit extra. I'll get that. And yeah, I was in. What does that, Tuesday, I believe, for me? Yeah, Tuesday lunchtime, I think I bought that, and then had a good time talking in there. Everyone was really welcoming. Like, put up my Twitter post. It's the most interacted I've had on any post by a long way. And obviously got a lot of followers and stuff through that, which is the sign of a great community straight off the bat, that they're happy to bring people in. And I feel like some of them may have already seen me through content and stuff anyway, but yeah, it was good to see them come across and support that way. And I'll be doing the same if anyone else joins into the community as well. Again, it's that whole Web3 community. Everyone's very welcoming and wants to help each other. And I feel like it's going to be the premier GameFi community going forward. We've got some of the biggest brains going around in there, and access to all those games at pre-seed and seed, which is, you can't get better than that. Like,
No, I think that's exactly right. And I was super excited when I saw you actually pop into the channel, because, like I said, we hadn't talked in that much detail, so I wasn't sure you were actually gonna get in, and
it was a
sent you a
long time coming.
message. Yeah. So I sent you a message on Tuesday the 16th my time in the morning, and just said, hey, congratulations. Really glad to see you in the channel. And then off to work I went. So I'm US based, and so that was kind of the start of the story. Well, later on that night, I got home, and had just finished eating dinner and was sitting on the couch, and all of a sudden, like, my phone started blowing up, and I couldn't figure out what was going on. So what I'd like to do is maybe you share your side of the story, and then I'll share what was going on in the background on my end at the same time.
Yeah, so I was just at work, had my phone out because I'm not doing much at work at the moment, and I got a notification pop up from Discord from the Azra server, saying that there's a mint. Click on the link to go to the mint. It was on their announcements page. I was like, it's from one of their mods. I was like, well, it seems legit. I'm not around Azra as much as I probably want to be. I'm probably going to be around them a little bit more after this, but so I had seen someone talk about Azra the day before, and I was like, oh, it must be what they were talking about. And I think it was actually an Ethlizards, because they had the giveaway for the whitelist. So I was like, oh, this must be what it was for. Clicked on the link, wallet, bang. And I was like, oh, that was weird. It didn't really do what I thought it would. And I went back into Discord, went to general chat, and all the chats, they were all blocked. You couldn't type in any chat. And I was like, that's weird. Like, I definitely can chat in these. Had a look, and it come up with a message underneath the announcements, this is a scam and stuff. I was like, oh, like, my heart sank. I was shattered. I was like, no. And I looked at my MetaMask, and when you look in MetaMask, you go to NFTs, it still shows old NFTs that you don't have.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, oh, no, it's still there. But then I went on OpenSea, and I'm like, oh, no, it's not in my wallet. I'm like, oh, I thought I had more ETH than this. And then I was like, oh, crap. And I was straight into Ethlizard thing. I'm like, oh, guys, I think this is it. And as you said, that's when your phone started blowing up. But I was straight in there. I think Micromics, I think it is, was
Mm-hmm.
there straight away.
Yeah,
It's like, you need to revoke, do this. They sent me to the site to go and revoke all the allowances. And it looked like they took all my ETH. They literally just took the Ethlizard. I had a few other NFTs in there, but they worth nothing compared to Ethlizard. And it looked like they sent back some ETH, which may have been to then like transfer other stuff out. Like they'd send me some money so then they could do transactions out. But I feel like I got onto it quick enough and started revoking everything. And yeah, all they really took was the Ethlizard and a little bit of ETH. But I was obviously devastated, and like the next hour or two I was at work, but I literally was just sitting down on the phone going, oh, what can I do? Like, there's nothing you can do, really. Like, it's not like a bank where you can go, oh, someone's just stole my money and they give it back to you. That's the whole thing. It's decentralized. So I was devastated, and then I had a look on OpenSea. There it was. It's there for sale at like 0.08 ETH. I'm like, oh, yep, it's up there for sale. And then boom, someone bought it. Must have been. And then it got put back on for sale at what the price I bought it for the day before. I was like, wow, within 24 hours of having it, I got it taken off me, and it's back on the site ready to go. Azra took about an hour or two to get their Discord back under control. Obviously, they had to reset all passwords. They had to restart all of their chats because they'd gone in and changed a lot of things.
So as you were going through and you had posted in the Ethlizard's channel, about 10 minutes before then, I had been in the Azra server. So for those not familiar, Azra is an emerging Web3 gaming project. They're building a combat RPG, very reputable company. So the development studio that's building it is actually basically the founder and a bunch of the developers from Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes. So very high quality projects, millions of dollars of investment poured in by a lot of reputable backers. And as Matt mentioned, their server got hacked, right? No one's immune to this sort of a risk point. And so as soon as I saw the message pop up, I'd actually been in discussions with the Azra team earlier that day. And so I knew that nothing was coming out soon. So having some inside knowledge helped. But as soon as I saw the link go up, I knew it was a scam right away. And so I'm going through the rest of the server trying to figure out who I can message from the Azra team to say, hey, something's going terribly wrong. The problem was they had kicked out all of the mods and basically anyone that didn't have, master, server access in Discord to be able to get in touch with. So I'm looking through trying to find contacts and phone numbers and stuff for the Azra team. And in the meantime, I throw up a post in Ethlizards that Azra's been hacked. We need to get it out of security alert to anyone because we just given away a bunch of the, the whitelists, and we didn't want any of the lizards to, to get burned by it. But it's one of those that if you see a bad link and you click on it first before you see the security warning, the order is wrong. You're still going to get burned in that case if you aren't careful. And so, as soon as we saw that happening, the Azra team was able to get things back in control pretty quickly. And so, we're trying to put up these temporary messages and threads so that people that are jumping onto the server don't click on the bad link. So, during that time period, it's one of those where I'm just sitting there like waiting to see, did anyone actually lose something? And as soon as you put that first post into Ethlizards, man, my heart just like dropped like at the bottom of my stomach because I was so sick. I'm like, someone's going to click on this and get burned. And I'm like, and of course, like Matt literally just bought his Ethlizard. I congratulated him this morning. And God, it was the worst feeling, man. I literally like was just, in knots. And so like we messaged back and forth a little bit to try and make sure that you were able to save anything else, from your wallet. And, as soon as we, kind of took stock for a few minutes afterwards, like you said, you were able to get in touch with the Azra team. I'd sent messages to a few of them as they were able to come back online. And, from there, this is the challenge of Web3, right? Once it's gone, it's gone. But like you also said, one of the benefits of being in Web3 is that not everyone are bad actors. In fact, most of the people here are trying to build things, and there's a really good sense of community among a lot of these projects. So why don't you share a little bit about what happened after you kind of got in touch with the Azra team and were able to confirm, like, hey, I clicked on the link, I lost my Ethlizard. What happened from that point on?
Yeah, so I went into the general chat and I wrote it once and no one really wrote anything back, and then someone else wrote something, and I was like, oh, I wrote on there as well. I was like, oh, someone took my Ethlizard. And they were like, okay, we'll get into contact with you soon. I wasn't going to push the point too much because I knew they were going through a lot, probably a lot more than what I had. Like their whole server was hacked and whatever. So I was just giving them some time. I was also talking to Lems from Illuvium, and he was pretty reassuring, telling me some other stuff that I should be doing, helping me with the revoking and stuff. And then he actually got me in contact with one of the Azra team directly, who was super nice. He actually went and bought the Ethlizard off OpenSea for me with his own wallet, and I was like I didn't expect to get the lizard back at all. But Lems was like, oh no, they're a pretty reputable team. I'm sure that they'll probably refund everyone. It seems like they are going and doing that. It seemed like people were over that this was a fake, a scam really fast, and I don't think heaps got taken. I was just too fast. Like literally had my phone in my hand and seen it pop up. So I could not have been any faster in doing it, which it's obviously not the right way to do things, but they tell you to be fast, so you be fast. But yeah, he ended up buying it back. It got transferred through to an Azra wallet at the moment, and I think they're just waiting to verify a few things before it eventually comes back to me. But I'm super stoked that I thought it was lost forever. 100% thought it was just gone and yeah, money gone, whatever. And I'm super stoked that I'm getting it back because I love it, and there's definitely some lessons to be learnt from this, which we will be going through very soon. So stick around for that.
So I mean, I think this is one of those where not every story like this has a happy ending for sure. But really glad that it seems like this one is going to. And really for me, the even happier ending, aside from maybe the scammer losing their own wallet or whatever, but the other part is if we can use this and really share some of the key lessons. So for anyone that's watching this video, you're probably in Web3 today. It's unlikely you'd find this otherwise. And so even if you've been in the space for a long time, it can be easy to neglect some pretty straightforward steps that you can take to really secure yourself and your assets. And like Matt mentioned, really the key is in this space, everything's decentralized. You can't just go to a bank and say, someone took the money, can you refund me instead? If it's gone, usually it's gone. And so, there are a few lessons that I want to talk through with you. But Matt, from your side, what were the biggest holes in your security plan and structure that, in hindsight, you saw that you're in the process of updating?
So my security plan was pretty much non-existent. I literally had one wallet, and it was pretty much because I didn't have anything of value in that wallet. I had a couple of NFTs that are worth not much. My Soffles ones that I talked about, that's on the Algorand network, so that's in Algo wallet. So that's got no chance of doing anything because I don't attach that to anything. And I'd literally just bought the Ethlizard, obviously, and I hadn't really even had the time to go through and look at how I should be setting up my wallet. I know I should have done it before, but obviously from this happening, I've purchased myself a ledger, or like a cold storage wallet that I will hopefully be getting this week, and the lizard will be going straight into there, and some other NFTs that I don't want to lose. And then I've set up probably 3 or 4 other wallets now. So as they call them, hot wallets and burner wallets, which I'd say we'll go through in a second as to how we should set these up. But just a few more wallets. So if I do click on these free mints or quick links that aren't really what they're supposed to be, I don't lose anything that I haven't factored into actually losing.
Yeah, so one thing that I like to equate managing security in Web3 to is as if you're going to a foreign country and maybe a large city that you've never been to before. There are normal types of precautions that you would take if you're going to an unfamiliar area. So you're probably not going to be carrying a lot of cash around with you, because you're not sure, what parts of the city may be safe. You're going to be real careful about, who you interact with. If you're taking taxis or Ubers or whatever, you're going to be a little bit more just situationally aware of your surroundings. And I think a lot of those are the same types of lessons that we want to bring into Web3, as we think about how we're managing security. So the first point that I would note, kind of like you said, is having high amounts of valuable assets or tokens on a hot wallet that's connected to the internet. It's really similar to actually having a physical wallet with several $1,000s or tens of thousands of dollars just sitting in your pants pocket. And you're probably not going to be super comfortable. Most people on the call probably not going to be super comfortable walking around with that much in cash just loose, because anything can happen, right? I mean, you can drop your wallet and someone could steal it. Could just fall out of your pocket as you're getting out of your car. And so there's a reason that most of us don't carry large amounts of cash in on our persons. And so in the same way, having a hot wallet connected to the internet, where any click or any transaction that you sign might just be giving someone access to it to do something that you don't intend, is certainly a gamble. And so, like you said, some good practices really, the first I would say is splitting and minimizing your risk. So if you've got multiple wallets that you set up, and most folks here are probably using MetaMask or some similar set of wallets, it's very simple, literally as simple as clicking a button to create a second wallet, a third wallet. I will say it's a little bit of a hassle in the sense that you need to then send NFTs or send tokens to different wallets if you want to transact. But in the grand scheme of things, if you've got a few $1,000s worth of NFTs or tokens, paying the $5 or $10 to send something to another wallet is a pretty low cost.
It's definitely worth it
For that security. Yeah. So definitely, if you're minting things out on a regular basis, even if you're comfortable with the project, I always recommend just using more or less a burner wallet that you use for minting that has just enough, ether or Sol or whatever the network is that you're on, just enough that you can actually do the mints and then transfer the items out of that wallet. Because if that wallet gets compromised, it's not going to be a comfortable situation, but you're not going to be out anything that's really valuable. So I do recommend having a minting wallet. If you have links that you're trying to maybe get free mints off of, this is really a very high risk of being scammed. I can't tell you, it's probably 2 or 3 different projects every day that are giving away free mints to people, and it's just purely a scam. So anything that kind of seems too good to be true, there's a chance that it might be in this space. And so I have also a burner wallet that has just enough money for a typical Ethereum gas fee, and not much more than that. And so if I'm gonna give someone a wallet and I don't really have confidence in the project or the team, I'm going to use something that has virtually no value to me as the only risk point there. So, Matt, you talked about the cold wallet. This is another, I think, good point that makes it a lot more difficult. It certainly doesn't guarantee safety, but it really increases the risk or decreases the risk of you losing something. So, any NFTs or tokens that you've got staked in a project, it's a lot more secure to put these on a cold wallet. And so, for those unfamiliar, a cold wallet would be something like Ledger or Trezor or something similar, where you've got usually an NFT stick that you plug into your computer, and you have to actually sign the transactions with the physical device as well as online. And so there are of course backup phrases, security phrases that you should save in a safe or safety deposit box or something that you're very comfortable with. But you should also keep that cold wallet not attached to your computer on a regular basis, someplace secure. And in that case, there's actually 2 elements of security that gives you. The first is if something happens to your computer and someone gains access through malware or spyware or something, they're not going to be able to get to your wallet, because they're not going to be able to see the codes that you're putting into the cold wallets in order to basically recreate that access in the same way that they would if you have like a hot wallet. In addition, I have found personally, I'm much slower to make any transactions at all of anything that's in my cold wallet, because the act of me going out and getting it from my safe, attaching it to my computer, stopping and thinking, do I know what I'm actually doing with this
Yeah.
transaction? That really gives me a lot of pause before I'm actually gonna sign anything. And during that time period, what I tell people is you should spend that entire walk going to get your cold wallet from wherever you store it, thinking, do I really know what I'm preparing to sign? Is it something that I've been planning on for an extended time period? And am I comfortable signing this for the risk that I am taking for whatever items are in my cold wallet? Yeah. So Matt, what are your thoughts on on the wallet setup? Is this something that you feel like maybe I knew this in advance, or was it really because you didn't have anything of valuable enough that you hadn't bothered to go through the cold wallet setup?
So I knew about the wallet setup that I should have had, and I've been in the Ethlizard's Discord for a while before having the actual holder chat open. And I think they have the wallet set up that you should have in there. And I had looked at it, and as I said, I just didn't have really anything of value, so I didn't really set it up. I didn't know how easy it was to set up more wallets on MetaMask.
Mm-hmm.
It's literally just a couple clicks of a button, and I've got 4 wallets of MetaMask now. Like, it's as easy as that to just have. I can move those NFTs to another one, use one as a hot wallet, and all of that. And I literally have a tab open on my phone with the ledgers there that I was going to buy. It's been there for a month or two.
Yeah.
Like, it was there. It's been in my head. I just hadn't followed through with actually buying it. But yeah, as soon as this happened, I've ordered one, and I will be abiding by all these security protocols that I'm going to be putting in. And as you said, like a 2-minute walk up to go get your ledger and back, I'm sure that you would have thought about stuff a lot more than click, 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 done, and it's gone.
Mm-hmm.
So I
Yeah.
feel like this should be a massive thing that everyone does. Just you're in control of everything. So if you click the wrong thing, it's your fault. Like, I know their Discord got hacked, but I should have been more around it. It was my fault in the end. So
And
yeah, I
yeah,
don't
and
want it
I
to happen
say
to people.
that I think it's the right approach that you recognize your responsibility in the matter. And I ask the questions not to give you a hard time about it, because
No.
all of us can fall for this. I mean, I mentioned to you before we started the cast today. One of my good friends, and he's very knowledgeable in the space, also got hacked on the same day. It was a different situation, but it can happen to anyone. And so making sure that we've got good protocols in place is key. And what I'd like to do is, for our viewers, I want to challenge you. If you're watching this video, you have our permission. Even if you log off and never come back to hear the end of this cast, pause the video now. Go to MetaMask, set up a secondary wallet, a tertiary wallet. If you don't have something already in place, if you have more than $500 worth of NFTs or tokens or anything, go buy the Trezor or the ledger. We can put some links in the description below. Don't buy it secondhand. Buy it from the reputable companies that are going to send it to you. Have it shipped, and once you get it, spend some time within the first couple of days just to set it up for any of your high valuable assets. Please do it. Do it for us, if not for yourself. But
Yes.
I think your peace of mind will be much higher. So use this public service announcement to your advantage. And if you do that, and in the next 6 months you end up clicking on a bad link, but you're saved because you had a secondary wallet that was set up, or you had something in your cold wallet and it prevented you from being scammed, put a comment in the description to this video below, or retweet the video to someone else who this can help. So we want to make sure that this knowledge gets as far as we can. And so if you can amplify our reach, so much the better. So
100%. I would pass this on to
yeah.
everyone that you know that is in this scene, anyone new into this scene. I feel like it's such a personal story, obviously, to me. I've gone through it. I'm telling you what you need. We're telling you exactly what you need to do. I may do a video showing you how to do all this stuff in the next coming days, or Annie might do something like that. We'll see how we go. But security is number one, and it's all on you. So you need to do as much as you can.
That's right. Yeah, and I mean, if you're spending hundreds of hours playing Web3 games or looking for alpha to buy and trade NFTs, you should probably be spending about 10% of that time working on your security structures as well, because you can get all the alpha in the world and make millions. And if you've got all of that connected to a hot wallet that then gets stolen, all that time is going to be in vain, and someone else is going to benefit from it. So be careful. That said, I've got two other suggestions from a security standpoint just to recommend to our audience before we wrap up. So the first one is, what do you do if you find yourself in the same situation that Matt did? So if you clicked on a link and you think that you made a mistake, oftentimes you may recognize it right away, but the question in that moment is, what do I do? And so you're probably not going to be thinking real logically at that second. You're going to be panicking. Oh my God, let me go over the wallet and look at it. The first thing, and I want you to remember this, if you click on a bad link and you're not sure what happened or what you've approved, you need to bookmark the following site and have it saved on your bookmark bar or wherever you go to access it through your browser. Put in big words, emergency, break glass if you need,
Yes.
whatever's going to get your attention. If you click on a bad link, you need to go to Revoke.cash. And from that transaction code, you need to put in the wallet that you approved a bad transaction from, and you can then immediately revoke access to that wallet for any of the NFTs, tokens, items that are in that wallet. Go through and revoke it. You're going to have to pay, a few, a small amount of gas fees in order
It's
to,
very minimal, very
yeah,
minimal.
do the revoking, but it will
Mhm.
absolutely be worth it if you save something that's really valuable. So that's the first thing is,
I'll link
do
it. I'll link it
do
down
that.
below.
Perfect. Yeah. Well,
Yep,
so
definitely.
go save that link. Because again, in that moment, you're probably not going to be thinking real clearly. Give yourself an easy reminder. This is what I need to do if I made a mistake. So Revoke.cash. If for some reason you can't do that, having secondary wallets is good because you can send some of your assets from one wallet to another, and that still may be worth it for your own peace of mind, just to clear everything out of that wallet if you think it was
Mhm.
compromised, even if you temporarily revoke access. If you need to get to another wallet, like Matt and I were messaging about at that moment, he didn't have a second wallet set up. So if you have someone that you trust, it's not a bad idea to have a backup wallet. So I have one with my brother where if he needs to send something, he can send it to my wallet, and vice versa, where we don't use those wallets for anything else. It's just, if your seed phrase gets compromised or something, you can immediately get everything out as quickly as possible. So the other thing that I would highlight around just general security practices, and this should be true for really all projects that you follow in the space, anything that seems too quick to be true is
Mhm.
probably a scam. And Matt, you kind of mentioned this is what you thought as soon as you clicked on it, was that, man, this is a really fast announcement. If someone's telling you, hey, we magically finished development of this great
Yes.
game and we're going to launch our NFT right now that they've been talking about launching in September,
Mm.
it's probably fake, right? So
Quick, quick,
anything that
quick. There's only
seems
1,000
too
spots.
quick,
Like,
yeah, that's playing into the hands of someone that wants your money and not in a good way. And so making sure that what are dates that things are going to be minted, and check the server, because like Matt said, there were some other signs that if something is put into a channel that's an announcement, normally we take those at face value as being really secure,
mhm.
and we trust on the mods and the community members and founders of these projects to really make sure that they have good security. But like we said, anything can happen, and you can't just depend on someone else in the space for your security. So, Matt, what are a few final thoughts that you want to share with our audience today?
Well, I hope someone or everyone has learned a lot and does, as we say, go and update their security protocols for their wallets, because I don't want it happening to anyone else. What has happened in the last couple of weeks, it seems like scams have been very prevalent across a lot of discords in the last week. I've seen a couple pop up here and there. You go and spend the time and set up the wallets how we should be set up. I'll, as I said, I'll try and make a video on explaining how you should be doing this, what you need to get. Go and buy reputable ledgers or Trezor. I feel like they're the two main ones, and get in contact with someone that is using one already to help you set one up. So I've had that Lems from Illuvium has said, I'll hop on a chat with you. I'll tell you exactly how you should be setting it up. make sure it's someone that you trust, and just security is in your own hands. So you need to take upon it, spend the hour, 10 hours, however long it takes, but it needs to be done. As you said, you're not going to be walking around with $1,000 cash down the street. You shouldn't be having thousands of dollars worth of stuff in a hot wallet that can be taken so easily.
Yeah. No, I think that's good feedback. So, again, I would say really glad that this story is headed towards a happy ending.
Mm-hmm.
It did not seem like that
No.
midway through. I'm telling you, I
No.
was so sick that whole night as soon as we we were exchanging the messages. So glad that we can share it, especially if it's able to influence someone else to be safe in this space.
100%. If it helps one person, then what we're doing has done its job. So
100%.
hopefully it helps more, but definitely pump it across to anyone you know that's either new or been in a space for a while. A lot of people are really relaxed on this stuff, so get it around to as many people as possible.
Yep, absolutely. Very good. Well, Matt, thanks so much for having me on today. It's a pleasure to talk through this with you and with our audience.
No, thanks for coming on. Thanks for doing the interviewing side of it. It's definitely the part that I haven't done very much to other people, and you seemed like you do it all the time. Or you're getting really good at it. So
Thanks.
if anyone likes this type of interview style, go over to Annie Knows' YouTube. I'll put it in the links below. He has some really good chats with some other big projects within the Web3 space. Very insightful, and I follow a lot of the Web3 games that he brings on because I trust on what he's saying and the people that he brings on. So definitely head over there to give Annie a follow.
Appreciate it. Very good. Well, thanks, Matt. Thanks to all of our listeners, and we'll catch you around to the metaverse.
Right. See you later.